Hi everybody, I'm David Weigelt, and this is your Silver Tsunami update for Friday, October 11th, 2011. I hope everybody had a great week, productive week. I want to welcome all of our new subscribers. We had probably over 50 new subscribers this week, so I want to welcome all of you and encourage you to be part of this growing conversation. Now for this week's update. We had a good debrief on Tuesday. I hope you checked it out. At the highest level, we had some more good and bad news about jobless boomers, so you might want to check that out. We had some evidence that the best work and our brightest ideas most likely come in the second half of life. This despite what Einstein said about us needing to get our best work done by the time we're 30. And then the not so surprising data point of the week came from Internet Marketing Publisher Media Post, which exposed that older adults spend more online than younger adults. And this research once again confirmed what we found over 2 years ago, and that is that adults 54 to 66 actually outspend younger adults by a margin of 2 to 1. So that's pretty big. But the story I want to focus on this week comes out of NPR and All Things Considered, and it talks about how boomers are hard to pigeonhole, they're hard to categorize politically. And this is important stuff because boomers make up over 37% of our voter age population. And they're also known as the generation that is anti-establishment. And as we think about our marketing and our advertising activities over the next year, we certainly need to take this into consideration, and a lot of people will, and a lot of people will build that messaging around stereotypes that maybe aren't true or aren't where their heads are at right now. It starts off by talking about how in 2008, boomers only narrowly backed Obama, and then in 2010, they actually voted more Republican. And how over the past decade, boomers are taking a more conservative view in terms of the role of government. So this is very interesting and good stuff. The biggest worry, and this wasn't such a surprise for boomers, is the economy, stupid. And with their savings taking a big hit, and as many of us know, over 2/3 of boomers are claiming now that they are going to postpone retirement in one way or shape or form. One thing I thought was interesting, though, was that their top 3 economic concerns were health care for themselves, college tuition for their children, but also the cost of senior care for their elderly loved ones. So I think there's something to be had there and worth considering. The bottom line for me is these are the ultimate swing voters. And if you watch the debates this week, I'm sure you saw that as well, that these candidates are zeroing in on that. And that while older boomers are still more likely to vote Democratic and younger boomers more Republican, they both share an increasingly conservative view, whether it has to do with the size of government or a variety of factors, with the exception of one. And I'm sure you've seen that, or we've all seen it as in stark contrast, and that is Social Security. So I'm not quite sure why Social Security is always considered a liberal or Democratic touch point, but increasingly this is where boomers on both sides say, hands off, don't touch, don't break your promise. Finally, I want to share with you a webinar that I think would be interesting for brands to check out. And it's being hosted by I'm In, and it's entitled Helping Businesses Become More Age Friendly. So this is a topic that we're hearing a lot about. Our friends at Boomer Project have a lot of ideas around this concept as well. This particular webinar is being hosted by Kim Walker, who is a 50-plus consultant with a firm in Singapore called Silver. And he's going to be talking about how age friendliness impacts the purchase decisions of an older consumer. No surprise there, and he's got some data around that. But what I found really interesting about this webinar is he's going to share a tool that he and a friend of ours, Dick Stroud, who is another 50-plus consultant based in the UK, developed. And this is an iPad cloud-based tool that supposedly helps trace a customer's journey through your brand, and it monitors for 150 different customer touch points. So you definitely want to check that out. As always, you can find a link for more information to these stories at facebook.com/silvertsunami. And my closing thought for you this week is really a personal reflection based on all of the news coming out of Penn State University this week, and specifically with regard to Joe Paterno, who is a bit of an idol in my family. And again, this is a personal reflection, but I felt like it might be worth sharing. And it's this idea that what we don't do can be more important than the sum of everything we've done. So in an economy that is driven by consumer purchases, and as experts that influence where those consumers spend their dollars, that just really had me thinking, and I thought I would share with you. Thank you again. I hope everybody has a great autumn weekend, and as always, remember, age equals opportunity.